Paul finishes the list with slave nor free. The free people of the Roman Empire were considered on a completely different level than the slaves. The distinction was so great that Paul's words here could hardly be imagined by either class when considering the other. Okay, a slave would look at their masters and say, I could never be like them, and the masters would look at their slaves and say, that person will never be like me. Nobody could even imagine it, and yet Paul is saying that you're all one in Christ. Okay, and you know, you look at Philemon. That's why Paul had to make this great appeal for Onesimus, is because of the distinction between them and the fact that this guy had done something wrong to Philemon, and he's saying, I'll pay the debt myself, you know. So it was a great distinction, probably even greater than Jew and Gentile. It was just one of those things in the Roman mind that these are slaves and that's all they will ever be. Okay, but once in Christ, the distinctions were removed. The letter of, here it is, the letter of Philemon gives important insights into this. Okay, so these distinctions, these cultural and ethnic and whatever other distinctions, they don't mean anything to Jesus. It doesn't matter if you're in a big house with a lot of money or if you're in a small hovel. If you're in Christ, you're in Christ. That's all that matters to him. And what does Jesus say? You know, the things that we think are important, the Lord finds contemptible or an abomination. I'm forgetting the exact quote, but you know, the things that we put a high value on don't mean anything to him. They don't mean anything at all. He's the one that created these things. We just make tinker toys like cars and stuff, and we think that's the cat's meow and the bee's knees when it's nothing. It's just, and you look at people that have a car and it comes out and it's this great thing, and I want to have that car. And 20 years later, the thing is just junk. I wouldn't own one of those. It doesn't even have air conditioning or, you know, whatever. It's just temporary stuff. That's all it is. It's a life of temporary stuff. Money. Don't get involved in that. Just keep your eyes on Christ and don't worry about your station in this world. It doesn't matter at all. If it did, I wouldn't be out at 7-Eleven picking up cigarette butts. Okay? If it mattered, I'd be wearing shoes and I'd be, you know, it doesn't matter. I don't care what people think about me. It doesn't make any difference at all. I like the way I live. I'm happy with it. I'm content. That's all that matters. And that's what you should do. If you're in Christ and you're content, be content.